Now we'll start. We chant Narada Bhakti Sutra, Sutra 51 onwards. Sutra 51 onwards. Anirvachaniyam prema swarupam. Anirvachaniyam prema swarupam. Mukha aswadanavat. Mukha aswadanavat. Prakasate kwapi patre. Punarahitam. Kamanarahitam. Pratikshana bardhavanam. Abhichirnam. Sukshmataram. Anubhava rupam. Tatprapyam. तदेव अवलोकयति तदेव शृणोति तदेव भाषयति तदेव चिन्तयति 56 गौणी त्रिधा गुण भेदात् आर्तादि भेदात् उत्तरस्मात् पूर्व श्रेयाय भवति सूत्र 58 अन्यस्मात् सौलभं भक्तो अन्यस्मात् सौलभ्यं भक्तो सूत्र 59 प्रामाणान्तरस्य अनपेक्षत्वात् स्वयं प्रमाणत्वात् च प्रामाणान्तरस्य अनपेक्षत्वात् स्वयं प्रमाणत्वात् च शान्तिरूपात् परमानंद रूपात् च शान्तिरूपात् परमानंद रूपात् च लोकहानौ चिंता न कार्या निवेदितात्मा लोकभेदशीलत्वात् लोकहानौ चिंता न कार्या निवेदितात्मा लोकभेदशीलत्वात् सूत्र 62 न तत्सिद्धौ तत् असिद्धौ लोक व्यवहार हेय किंतु फल त्याग तत्साधनम न कार्यमेव तत् न तत्सिद्धौ लोक व्यवहार हेय किंतु फल त्याग साधनम च कार्यमेव स्त्रीधन नास्तिक वैरिचरित्रम श्रवणीयम स्त्रीधन नास्तिकः वैरिचरित्रम न श्रवणीयम. So Hariam. My salutation to all of you for continuing this text of Narada Bhakti Sutra for so long. So we have seen in the earlier sutras how divine, beautiful and expansive is the bhakti, which cannot be described in words, which cannot be expressed, and it is the nature of love itself. The supreme love is divine. So that supreme love cannot be expressed. It is just like a dumb person. He experiences everything, but he cannot express. That is the nature of that supreme love. But some people can express. In some people, it can be seen. They can be manifested. They can express. There are very rare people there. And this supreme love doesn't have desires, doesn't have any this supreme love, every moment it increases. As you love the Bhagavan, he loves you more. Then your Shraddha becomes more and more. It's very subtle. And the nature is very, it is, the experience is Anubhava Swarupam. So what happens to a person who is in a state of supreme love? He doesn't expend his energy, his all his sense organs, in pursuit of objects of the world. Whatever he does, whatever he listens to, it is that Bhagavan. He listens to Bhagavan's words, his prayers, or his bhajans, or his chanting, whatever, all the time that sound of music of Bhagavan is vibrates in his ears. And whatever he looks at outside world, wherever he sees, it is the presence of Bhagavan. And same way, all the words that comes out of his mouth, those words are full of love and affection. He cannot utter a word of anything wrong or something wrong happening. Tadeva chintayati also. His thought itself is connected to Bhagavan. When the thought is connected, then his words, his listening or speaking or everything becomes regarding Bhagavan only. He becomes Brahmamaya or Ishwaramaya. That is called the Bhuma, the infinite, the eternal, that all pervading, immutable Brahman is everywhere, and I am one with it. That state of consciousness where you see nothing else, you hear nothing else, and you speak nothing else, you think nothing else, that state of consciousness that you are, and you attain that state, and you can remember that is none other than Brahman itself, the Supreme Self. So you can always recapitulate what you study in the Jnana, in the Upanishads. The same thing is happening in the Bhakti Shastra also. Tadeva avalokayati, tadeva sunoti. What we saw in the Kena Upanishad, that whatever you hear, that your only that Bhagavan's talk. Then they talked of he talked of these four types of Gauna Bhakti. Chaturvida Vadate Mam. Rather Tridha, Gauni Tridha, Guna Veda, Artha Adi Veda. Artha, Jigyasu, Arsarthi, Jnani, all these things are also. So, all this we did, but then Bhagavan says, Narada says, that devotion is always readily available. It is not difficult at all. Compared to all other margas, the paths, it is the simplest. And it is, everybody is qualified for it. You don't require very intelligent people to study it. It happens because it's your own nature. So, how nice it is to know that it's my own nature and I can love anybody and enhance that. He is only giving the enablers. How this, your existing love, can be enhanced. He is giving so many methods he has given us. Maybe at the end of the book will, summarize it, how beautiful it is. And it is also not for a particular person or a particular group or a particular jati or dharma or maybe one loka. Anywhere you go, that love is present. I told you different varieties, the contrasting situations. I gave you some examples of Mirabai to Sri Ramakrishna, to Gautam Buddha, to Prahlada, Hanuman, Sugriva, Mother Teresa, all of them are full of love. And they are different. Like somebody is a girl, somebody is a boy, somebody from poor family, somebody from a royal family, somebody is a human being, somebody is a monkey or a rakshasa. All of them are also full of love. How varying it is. But then love is also Santi Rupa. Its nature is peace. Paramanda Rupacha is also Paramananda, means supreme bliss. Then he says that when you are in that state of bliss, you don't bother about, you don't worry about, don't create anxiety about the worldly good or bad. Whatever losses take place in the world also, you endure because you have already surrendered everything to the Lord. Once you have surrendered, what are you? You have surrendered yourself. Why the objects? Let there be loss, no problem. Bhagavan is there to tolerate. Now, we are looking at a sutra, Sutra 63, which is saying, Stridhana Nastika Vairicharitram Na Sravanyam. Means what? Very simple words. Stri Dhana Nastika Vairicharitram. There are four topics. One is Stri, is a woman. Dhana is a wealth. नास्तिक मीन्स जो भगवान में विश्वास नहीं करता है, जो atheist. Then vairi means enemies. So all these people, all these matters, when it is being discussed or a topic comes in a talk or a group, that charitram na sravaniyam. Don't listen to it. So a seeker of devotion should not listen to descriptions of women, wealth, atheist and enemies. How can it be possible? How can I close my eyes and ears? Shall I put a earbud and stop my hearing? See, we are living in this world. So it is natural that we will come in contact with many people with different orientations. Many people will come. They'll speak, they'll elaborate the sensuous objects, like the woman or man is equally both sides, or the enjoyment of the wealth, or they'll talk that why you are doing so much, spiritual practice. I am so happy without it. I have so much of time. Why you are wasting your time? Or they can talk of, talk of enmity. Oh, that person was talking about you. So ill information he was giving you, he was abusing you. You don't know that. So all that enmity people also create. So this type of, unfettered freedom of unbelievers, enmity without love, all these talks you should avoid. But then how will you do that? So how does a seeker who is seeking devotion to the Lord, who is surrendering to the Lord, who is focusing on the glorious supreme bhakti only, who is trying to live a spiritual life, dedicating himself to the Lord, how will you respond to these unsolicited talks? How will you do that? Is it possible? Because the world is full of talks like that. People speak. लोगों का काम है कहना, है ना? So लोगों का काम है कहना. So you can't stop them, and we can't put a earplug here. Huh? So Devarsi Narada is issuing a forewarning. You don't let such irrelevant and uh, unscrupulous talks come to you and dissipate your attention and energy. The thing is that whatever is happening outside, your sense organs are open to it. They have free access. Somebody speaks, you have no choice but hear. So objects of the world are there, you will certainly see it. You can close the eyes, but you cannot close all the time. Or touch. And the sparsha, also the air is coming or something like that. You'll touch. Or there is a good fragrance, you'll also inhale. You are eating a food, that taste of the food, you have no choice but to taste it. Of course, you can avoid by changing the situation and the place and all that. Yes, you can do that. You can avoid. But most of them will come to you. So, they will come, such sensuous talks will come. You'll be surprised. Even the elderly people also get engaged in such sensuous talks. I don't know how long they'll take to refrain from such thoughts only. So this type of detrimental information, when it comes to the mind and you observe that in the mind, it goes against your bhakti. It will dash against your mind. It will come to the sense organs, then it will enter your mind and it will create, it will create the waves that will be detrimental to your spiritual sadhana. Tension. Oh, he talked to me like this. He gave me, वो गाली मुझे दिया, वो भी आ जाएगा तुम्हारा मन में आ जाएगा. Why did he talk like that? Or it's sometimes hot, sometimes cold. All that will come. Somebody describing the beauty of a lady, or nefarious activities, or somebody is having a lot of wealth and how he is using or misusing the wealth, or somebody is nastic, or he's how he is doing it. All these things come, but these things can be at the level of sense organs. You may not be able to protect. What is the next level? Next level is the mind. Mind level, you can erect a barrier between your sense organs and the mind. See, there maybe you must have experienced. Whatever you don't want the mind to enter, you put a barrier. When you are like walking on the street, you don't see everything that is visible. Your mind doesn't register that all the objects, all the scenes on the world, you don't register that in your mind. Whatever you want to see, you will see. Register, your eyes see whatever it likes to see, like that. There is a lyrics. So, or in another way, the mind can be the witness alone. Either it can be a barrier or it can be a witness. Witness of what? Let these scenes come, Somebody talking like this, let him talk. Let it go. There are the visuals are like that. Let that come, but I'll only witness, I'll not get involved in it. There will be negative remarks or descriptions of lust, or somebody is luring the sense organs for sense gratifications. It is the mind that must stand guard, not the sense organs. They have no authority to accept or not accept. It will come. But the mind must stand guard, and the mind must guard the invasion of the enemy of lust or wealth or other nefarious activities. So a seeker must turn his mind through the methods and means. He has to turn his mind instead of turning the mind to the objects of the world or talks of the world. He can turn his mind to the Lord. The devotion must be to the Lord. So the danger is that unless the mind is focused, unless the mind is steadfast on Lord, it can fall prey and succumb to the pitfalls of sense gratifications. वो अच्छा लगेगा, isn't it? If your mind is not steadfast on your bhakti, then you may succumb to the other side, Obviously, रसगुल्ला तो अच्छा लगेगा, खा लेंगे, isn't it? So, here in this sutra, Narada is focusing on 4 topics. One is the woman, another is the wealth, third one is the non-believers, fourth one is the enmity, vairi. Each of them can create havoc. The woman stands for sensuous lust for the opposite sex. It can be man also creating that sensuous sex. So that is very alarming, it is perilous. Unless that topic is checked, people will keep on talking on this topic. The mind can fall prey to passionate, gratifying thoughts and deeds. It creates craving in the mind for lasting long periods of time. You ruminate those same thoughts over a long period of time in your mind itself. Oh, how beautiful it was, how I used to love, in the younger days, I had such good times with when I was young. All that you did, all that comes to the mind. So hence a seeker must avoid or ignore such words or forms. Next comes wealth. Wealth is equally enticing. See, one loves the enjoyments, pleasures, indulgence. If you have wealth, you can indulge in these sensuous pleasures more. And a seeker is always allured by the luxuries of the wealth. Like you see some pictures in the television, same way you can have other forms of sense gratifications or enjoyments. You can have luxury cars, or you can have big houses, or you can have a masseur coming every day, or something like that, So the seeker who is allured by the luxury of life will be swayed away by the true devotion. He cannot resist himself unless he is very steadfast. Unless the devotion, bhakti, is strong, his willpower is strong. Otherwise, he will like in the river, he will float away. Similarly, a Nastika. Nastika means a non-believer. A non-believer can also whisper stories in your ears. Hey, why you are doing so much of sadhana? What is this sadhana? Why you are working this path? Why you are wasting your time in japa, tapa, puja, archana? Why you are wasting your time? I am not doing it, but I am enjoying. So he can put in your ears, What is Bhagavan? Once you die, nothing remains. Who told you that you will come back? Where is the Punarjanma written? All this, a Nastika will say. Charbak philosophy, he will proclaim. Charbak, Runam krutva ghrutam pivet. So he'll say, ठीक है, आज मौज करो, जितना है आज मौज कर लो. Nastika, why you waste your time in this? So sometimes if you are not strong in your thoughts and deeds in the bhakti, in the श्रद्धा, then you can also be carried out. अगर दोस्त बोलता है तो मैं वही करेगा ना, क्यों इतना कष्ट क्यों करेगा? Why to do tapas? So best way to ignore such talks. You can ignore that. That is not very difficult. If you are little already walk the path of spiritual life for a little longer time, you can avoid that. You can also have argue with him and put him back. I think you have already gathered enough logic and knowledge to counter such nasticals. Next comes the enemy. By description of opposition, enmity with someone, even if it is non-existence. People can gossip. They'll gossip that your friend was talking like this, or he was in your other days, in last year we did this. He's talking ill of you. So when he talks, you may not accept it, but your mind will be filled with that thoughts. You'll have suspicions, you'll have doubts. So you will be thinking of it. Why did my friend talk to me like this? That enmity is created by people, by unwanted people, And such thoughts, when it gets into the head, even when you are in the seat of meditation, also in the mind it will take chakkar. These are the aberrations that comes to the mind when you are being bombarded by negative thoughts. They can derail your sadhana for bhakti. So Narada says, "Na sravaniyam." Do not listen. Don't listen. Don't give credence to these things. Means you don't observe in the mind. The remedy is to avoid the unnecessary talks, those talks that cause agitations in the mind. Ignore such talks. Ignore the invasion of such way of living. Or, as mentioned earlier, let the mind become either a barrier or a witness to such talks. Like a witness, let it come, let it go. Or the mind can be, you can be like a Padmapatra, lotus leaf. You live in the world, yes. You have all these negative thoughts and talks and all that is going on, yes. Like a lotus leaf, it is born in the water, lives in the water, perishes in the water, but it doesn't get touched. You put a drops of water on the leaf, it will go away. Same way, you and your mind should live in this world with all these negative circumstances, but you don't get touched by such negative things. Okay. Let it come, let it go. That is the mantra. So I and my mind are not touched, not affected by such negative insinuations. Because I have devotion for the Lord, Narayana is sitting in my bosom, and I don't care what others talk. I am devoted. I am, the Narayana himself is creating a protective veil around me. There is a parda that he is protecting me from all these invasions of the negative talks. And I am absorbed in him. Because I am steadfast in my bhakti, so I am absorbed in him. Unaffected by the worldly attractions of sensuous pleasures, negative thoughts, I am always absorbed in him, means in a Brahmamaya Jagat. So in this sutra, what Narada is, what is the gist of this sutra is that whatever people talk, let them talk. Whatever negative insinuations or lust or man or woman, whatever comes, you don't pay heed. The best way is to create a barrier between the senses and the mind. Let these things come, but you don't pay attention. Like you don't pay attention to many things. And you can create a, witness, sakshi bhav. Let the mind be a witness to all these objects of the events, and I am not a sakshi bhav. Or you can be like a nalini dalagata taralam tadbat jivanam atisaya chapalam. Like a lotus leaf, the life is very short. It is not touched by the water that it lives in. So this is the gist of this sutra. We'll go to the next sutra. Sutra number 64. Abhimana dambha adikam tyajyam. Abhimana dambha adikam tyajyam. Abhimana is pride. Dambha is also like pride, but vanity. Dambha adikam means etc. Tyajyam should be given up. So this is a simple sutra. So Narada continues with the methods and practices that he is advising us. How love can be cultivated, how it can be developed, how we can increase the quality and the quantity of love, how bhakti can be cultivated. This is what he has been given. So how bhakti can be cultivated and developed is a question. So the answer that he gives is that throw away your pride, throw away the ego, the vanity, the jealousy, the hypocrisy, all these negative tendencies you throw away. Jettison all that. Negative urges are obstacles on the path of bhakti. See, in our scriptures everywhere, you will find the two opposite sets of values, Daivi Sampati and Asuri Sampati. So Bhagavan always, it has been prescribed, Daivi Sampati, you should accept or you should cultivate your Daivi Sampati in you and renounce the Asuri Sampati. Specifically, this Abhimana, Dambha, etc., in a positive way, Bhagavan is given in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13. I'll just quote that. Amanitvam adambhitvam ahinsam shanti arjavam acharyopasanam saucham stairam atma vinigraha. This is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, sloka number 8. This is very, when we come to know, this is very important slokas on that. It's a number of them are there, but I'm chanting only one. Amanitvam adambhitvam ahinsam shanti arjavam acharyopasanam saucham sauryam stairyam atma vinigraha. Means what? Amanitvam. Amanitvam means no mana. Amana means no mana. Mana means your abhimana. Abhimana is your pride. So you should not have pride. You see what abhimana is given here? Okay. Humility, unpretentiousness, modesty, all this should be your quality. These are values. These are the urges that you must cultivate. Ahimsa is non-injury, forgiveness, patience, uprightness, service to teacher, purity, steadfastness, and self-control. These are descriptions of moral qualities in Bhagavad Gita and the practices which are conducive to your spiritual growth. These values you must cultivate. And you also should practice that, not only in words, but in the actual life you should practice. So that way, your spiritual growth will be faster. If you're a pride person, you say, oh, I got so much of sampatti, I got so house and the car and all the, my children are so well placed in the United States and so many things are there, and you take pride in that, then Bhagavan will crush your pride. When your son comes back from marriage, you'll marry a girl, and the next day the girl will divorce, and she'll tell bye, then take alimony from you. And these are become very rampant these days. Yeah? Marry for a few days, then charge a huge alimony. And anyway, so how your dhamma will be destroyed by Bhagavan, you do not know. So these are the few of the qualities, or in this sutra, he has given the other way. That means abhimana, damba, etc. He has told. In Gita, he is saying amanitvam, adambitvam. वो दंभ को अदम्भ बना दे. Okay, so in the Gita it's given in a positive way, and here it is given the negative tendencies. These negative tendencies should be given up. In Gita it is saying that you should have these positive things. So this humility, amanitvam is humility. That humility means is the absence of self-pride. What you're proud of, if you are no, there are many people. There are many people who are very humble, and even if they have, they say this is all God's grace that I'm blessed. Okay, there are many humble people. So if you do your absence of self-pride, that mana, abhimana is not there, then that is amana. This is amanitvam. So in this sutra, Naraji is telling us to give up. Give up what? The negative traits that we have, the urges that we have, pride, ego, arrogance, hypocrisy, all this you must give up. See, if you are walking the spiritual path, especially devotion, then you cannot afford to have this type of arrogance. I am studying so much Vedanta, I can recite so many mantras of Kenopanishad. No, that is a pride. That's a damba. You don't have to show off. You be humble at all times. But by speaking like this or having a urge like this, a tendency like this, you create mental agitations. Your mind becomes agitated. Then there is no peace in mind. Your personality becomes like that. So such a person will have no mental peace. How can you practice love and bhakti for Bhagavan? That Bhagavan's love, the bhakti, is pure, simple. And if you bring your damba, your pride in it, it perishes. It will be contrasting to each other. The love that you are showing or you are having is contrasting to the pride and abhimana, etc. So the pretentiousness, the it is very, very difficult to. How it both of them cannot be together. Bhakti as well as pride cannot go together. So you must avoid all this. This should be given up. It should be renounced. But it's a very simple sutra. So we completed this sutra 64. We'll read the next sutra 65. Sutra 65. तदर्पिता खिलाचारः काम क्रोधाभिमानविकम् तस्मिन्नेव करणीयं तदर्पिताखिलाचारः सन् काम क्रोधाभिमाननिकं तस्मिन्नेव करणीयं. So the first word is a composite word. We'll break it into tad arpita akhila achara. Tad arpita akhila achara. That means tad to Bhagavan, to him. Arpita means you have dedicated. So all achara, akhila achara means all activities. Akhila means everything. Achara means activities or achara. So all your activities dedicated to Bhagavan. Son means being that person. Kama, Krodha, Abhimana, Adikam. Next big word is Kama, Krodha, Abhimana, Adikam. Kama, Krodha, Abhimana, Adikam. Okay? That means Kama, Krodha, Abhimana, etc. And so on. Tasmin Eva. Tasmin Eva. Towards him alone. Eva means alone. That only. Huh? Not only that eva. Karaniyam means should be done, should be performed. So the meaning becomes like this. Having dedicated all your activities to Bhagavan, one should turn all his desire, anger, pride, and so on towards him alone. It's a beautiful sutra. From the beginning, from the face of it, doesn't look so difficult or so meaningful, but the sutra is very nice. What it says is, up to now, you have already dedicated all yourself to Bhagavan. Surrendered. All yourself and all the activities also you have surrendered. Okay. Then what do you do? You have bhakti bhava. Where the bhakti bhava will be there? In the mind. But mind also has got other, negative traits. So that desire, anger, and other things are there already now. Sometimes it erupts. So he says, all the negative tendencies also, the urges also, you offer to the Lord. You see, this is very contrasting, He said, Tumhara jo bhi hai, whatever you offered, you surrendered, is good enough. Now, whatever negative tendencies are there, that also you offer to the Lord. I'll tell you why he's saying this. See, whatever you do in the world, that human tendencies are there, positive and negative. And those are, we continue to have it. How much you cultivate which tendency depends on you. See, good and bad will be there. Criticism will be there, praise will be there. But what you do, depending on you. You means you do that through your, your organs, indriyas. But the indriya doesn't do that. Your mind makes it up. Whatever man jo karega, wahi karo. How man kaise karega? Your thought has to be there. Koi thought to hai na, then only the mind will work. How the thought will come? The thought comes because you have some vasana. Some desires are there, some impressions are there. The thought is. So the sequence is like that. Vasana or thought, vasana to thought, thought to action. So where do these positive and negative values or tendencies come in? If you have some kamana, you say, some kama, krodha, abhimana, adi. So kama means desires are there, or you have anger, or you have abhimana means your number, pride, etc. That is in the mind only. It's a mental makeup. So you will have that good things. You will also have the bad things, like positive things also, good and bad both. Like you have love, you have kindness, you have compassion, isn't it? All these things are also there. So it's up to you what you express, what comes to your mind first, depending on your mental makeup. Am I clear? Am I clear? Depending on the mental makeup, either the good traits or the bad traits will be expressed. So how you can control this? So Naraji, whatever he said in a word only, but when you analyze this, it is like this, Normally, people expend their energy and their all their activities, normal people. No, I'm not talking about bhaktas or the spiritual seekers. Normal people, they spend all their time, all their money, all their activities, whatever they do, they, they try to fulfill their wishes, all their desires, all the egocentric desires are fulfilled by their thought and activities. Yes or no? They want to do whatever they want to do. I want to make money. I want to have more friends. I will enjoy. I will entertain myself. I'll go for a holiday and I'll go to for a cruise. All that will do for self, for yourself, for enjoyment, for the body. Whereas a true devotee surrenders his physical and mental traits and everything, whatever he does, he surrenders to Bhagavan. All the activities also, he surrenders to Bhagavan. The intellectual thought also, he surrenders to Bhagavan. So when he, the entire personality is surrendered to the Lord. So what happens? How this the urges of kama, krodha, where they go? Any activity that you do, it has to be done through the sense organs. Either it's Gyanendriyas or Karmendriyas, but they are directed by the mind. But the mind has got all these, positive and negative urges. That will always be there. So now comes the, crux. The thing is that in the human life, in our activity, in the mind, in the Shastras, it is mentioned that there are Sad Ripu. 6 enemies are there. What are the 6 enemies? Can anybody say? Sad Ripu. Can anybody say? Yes, you can unmute and say.
Kama,
Yes. Anybody?
Kama, Krodha, Samdam, Adi.
Okay, half.
Sir, Kamo, Krodha, Lobho, Moho, Mada, Master.
Very good. Satyanarayan Babu, full marks. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. These are the 6 enemies. Sad Ripu isko bolte hain. Okay. It means Kama is desire, Krodha is anger, then Mada is greed, Moha is delusion, Mada is pride, and Matsarya is jealousy. Jealousy. So all these are there in the mind. So when Naraji is asking us to renounce our negative tendencies, so there should not be any trace of desire. There should not be any anger or pride or jealousy. So how to renounce all these and still act. When you renounce all these, that means you become the mind. You see, mind cannot exist without these traits. In fact, no one can remain even for a moment without these traits. कुछ तो कुछ रहेगा, मन में तो कुछ रहेगा. If these six are removed, then you'll be amani bhava, no mind, or you'll be a thoughtless state. But no mind means no bhakti. Or for bhakti, you need a mind to work, emotions to be there. Without emotions, without thoughts, you cannot. I mean that is required. The mind is required for bhakti. How will you pour your bhakti at the feet of the Lord? Bhakti cannot be practiced unless you have a active mind. Active mind means all these enemies are still present. So how to practice that? It has been mentioned, and we'll continue this next class. The bhakti requires a mind, but the mind is having all these repos, the enemies. How to deal with this? We'll continue in the next class. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'll close the class now. Thank you.